The House. I had no idea this movie was a thing. I was just scrolling on Netflix one day, saw the trailer for it, and from that trailer alone, it made me intrigued in this film. And from searching for it on the internet and seeing what some people were saying about it and stuff, some people called it a horror film, and that just made me more interested in watching this. The House is a stop motion film created by Endo Walsh, and instead of it being a one full-length story, the film is split into 3 short 30-minute stories that all surround the events that happen in one house over different periods of time. Looking at this, I did not know that they were all taking place in the same house. I read that on Wikipedia, I think, but looking back at it with the title and everything being in my head, that totally makes sense. In this video, I'll be going over all 3 parts, which I have titled in my head, The Girl, The Rats, and The Cats, commenting about the horror aspects of each and the medium of stop motion and if it was truly necessary for the films. Act 1. The Girl. This short story is about a poor family who is the poorest of poor, and they're almost out of their luck. They just had another baby and their life is just so fucking hard for them. Let's talk about these models for a second, by the way. These models do have an eerie vibe to them, but I'm not sure if it's because stop motion things just have an uncanny feeling, or if it was actually done on purpose. Like, look at this. This is creepy. How is this not creepy? He's talking, but his mouth is barely freaking moving. Jesus Christ. One drunken fit of rage walking outside, the father runs into these weird people, and let me tell you, if you see this inside of a car and decide to go talk to them anyway, you deserve anything that you have coming to you, because who would go talking to this thing? Genuinely. The people within this car offer his family to live in a new house that this world-renowned artist is making for free. Like, for free. Did they really not think something was gonna happen? Did they just think everything was gonna be okay? It's free! It's a free mansion. This house is filled with rooms with creepy old dudes in here that just breathe. If you open a door, they just look at you and breathe. And this family has a 9-year-old and a few month-old daughters. It's like that would creep me out. Genuinely, it would creep me out, even if I was a kid or a dad. It would just freak me out. Throughout this story, the mother and father slowly become obsessed with certain things in the house. The father gets obsessed with the fireplace, and the mom gets obsessed with making curtains, and the daughters are basically left alone. Their obsessions basically become them. One day the house catches on fire and the daughters go run into the room to get them. The father has become a chair and the mother has become curtains. They are forced to escape on their own, and that's how the story ends. I don't dislike the story, but it's definitely the weakest of the bunch that we got. The concepts didn't even feel original. It feels like a Treehouse of Horrors or Terror Tales from the Park type of story. Like, they're not scary, but you can tell it falls into the horror genre, and it's kind of creepy if you look at it, but not by much. The horror that this story is good with is suspense. Like, it's really good with creating a suspenseful atmosphere, but it never successfully did anything with that. There are multiple moments where Mabel, the 9-year-old girl, opens the door and sees a creepy dude probably in his 40s, just breathing and staring at her and her baby sister. There are even times where she leaves doors open and just walks away with her back turned to it. I keep thinking they're gonna do something to her. Like, why would she do that? It's so creepy and suspenseful. There's even this one guy that lives in a room right outside of their room. Like, their window is enclosed and there's a room that is the window's peeking into, and it doesn't look like there's any other entrance other than that window. So he literally had to go through them to get in that. It's just creepy, guys. Like, genuinely, this is just a creepy place. The stop motion was necessary for the suspense in this story. I don't think it would have the same effect if it was 2D. Maybe 3D could give off the effect, but definitely not 2D. But that's as far as it goes to say stop motion is necessary. It makes the characters look creepy in their own way, even if the characters weren't supposed to be creepy. Other than that, the story format itself fits well with any medium. The first story left alone leaves a lot to be desired, but before we get too bored and too caught off guard with this first story, let's go ahead and jump into the second one. Act 2. The Rat. Creepy, 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 creepy. This story is creepy and about rats, and it's the best one of these short films. Jesus Christ. Oh, So the house in here is a house that this real estate agent is trying to sell to potential buyers. He fixed it up, tried his hardest to get rid of the bugs in the house, which he sucks at, by the way, and even screws up and got junk food and snacks instead of this rich, sophisticated food like he ordered. I'm already gonna say the direction and angle choices of some of the scenes within here are already making this 10,000 times better than the first story. The whole scene of him trying to get rid of the bugs and becoming very tired in the process is such a great shot. Like, go watch that even if you don't watch the rest of the film. I love this shot. This film has a lot of shots with ice being the main focus, and you'll notice that a lot throughout the story to indicate stuff like exhaustion, creepy rats changing stuff, the inevitable ending of bleakness. With the groceries and stuff being wrong, you can only imagine how well the showing off of the house went. They look bored, they don't care, their kids are covering the floor with a lot of dirt. The main character is basically having a panic attack at this point, just trying to fix everything. Then he drops his phone. I don't know what this would normally indicate, but once he dropped the phone, things started to get creepy and eerie, and these two rats that weren't even there show up out of nowhere, and they use his deteriorating mental state to make him believe that they're interested in this house. I don't really know what to say about them. They were just really creepy and came off as either trying to put one over on him, or they were just actually crazy. Either way, I would have beat them up and kicked them out in a heartbeat. You know me, guys, big strong man over here. I would have kicked them up and beat them out, honestly. Long story short, after trying to get them out of the house, something happens and he ends up in a hospital, and these two weird rats come back and get him to take him back. And now there's a shit ton of rats there, and I'm just gonna read my notes verbatim for this part because like I can't say it any better than my notes did. He's being assimilated into the family? What's going on here? There's so many of them. This place is a giant dirty mess now. They have ruined everything. Literally nothing works and everything is ruined. Even the main character is just a rat now. It's like he doesn't have a personality. This is so weird. This story is creepy and weird, and I don't even mention the dance number that a bunch of bugs did while the main character was freaking out. This was suspenseful, but the two main horror aspects that were attributed in here were the creepiness and uncanniness of it all, and it was enhanced by the stop motion. Stop motion is the only medium that this story could have happened in. Like, what is the character becoming more animalistic and staying with the rest of these creepy rats at the end supposed to represent? I was gonna say maybe none of that what we saw happened the way we saw it, but he still has a hospital going on when in this animalistic state. But his mental, his personality, it's fully gone, and what's left there is just another dirty rat destroying the house that someone worked their hardest on to sell one day. And it's just sad, and honestly I really like this story. Act 3, The Cat. There's not really much I can say about this one. I guess the way they wanted to leave it off is on a good note. So this story is the last one, and it's about cats. Before we can get into that though, this story is set so far into the future that the rest of the world is submerged in water, and the only thing that's left standing is this house, but it's slowly being devoured every day, little by little. This one cat is obsessed with this house and trying to make it better for one day when having visitors. She quote unquote rents rooms out for a few people, and they keep not giving her money, and the only thing they give for her are crystals and fish respectively. The crystals are from this hippie cat and the fish are from this young black cat. The main character would rather them give her money, but let me ask her this. How are they supposed to give you money when the rest of the world is submerged in water? I don't understand this. Concept alone, you can already see that something is off with the main character, rather if it's her obsession with the house or her overly positive attitude when it comes to the future. One day, the hippie cat's hippie boyfriend came over and basically gave everybody a means to escape. The main character didn't like that, but Her obsession of wanting to stay in this house even though it's sinking is driving everybody away, but she's also afraid to be alone. Such is the duality of humans. But these are cats. Long story short, it turns out the hippie boyfriend turned the house itself into a boat as well. It's sinking, but for the time being, she can sail along in the world with her friends until she really does have to let go of this house because it is genuinely an obsession with her, at the point where I don't even think she can let go of the house. The first story is definitely the weakest, but this is close by if not right next to it. If it wasn't for some unique camera shots and the whole scene of the mist coming in and tripping her out and making for some creepy visuals, I would say this is the weakest. There weren't necessarily any horror elements within here except it's just a very dark and nihilistic future where nothing else is around. Everyone else is assumingly dead. So does it really even matter if the house is sinking? What's left for them after the house is gone? One would think nothing is left. Stop motion as a medium wasn't necessary to tell this story either. It's just very impressive when it comes to thinking about the entire setting and everything is literally stop motion stuff. It's just crazy. A lot of time had to be spent on this alone. This film, these stories were all different and some unique in their very own way. There's really no overarching message throughout all of this, throughout all these different stories, but each has a message of their own to get out. You never know what you have until it's gone. Even the most willing people have their breaking points, and it's not easy to be alone. I would probably like the first story more if it gave us a little bit of an epilogue or short montage of the struggles the kids had to go through to survive on their own. Even if they couldn't, I would like that. But I understand the ending of that and the last one were supposed to have this up to viewer interpretation type of vibe to it. If you are wondering if you should watch this film or not, I'd honestly say no, unless you are a really big stop motion buff. The only one that was completely entertaining to me was the second one. So go out of your way to watch that one at least, if any of them. But the answer is no, you do not have to go out of your way to watch this. And with that being said, that's basically it. What did you guys think of this film? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. Alright, that's, I'm joking. Alright, that's somebody else's thing. Like, comment, subscribe, leave comments about your opinions of this. And with that being said, I'll see each and every one of you around next time. I really like doing these, you know? And yeah. Goodbye.